Nuggets locker room report. Vic Lombardi, Bill Hanzik, Chris Dempsey. Before we show you the final moments, LA misses that shot with just under 10 seconds to play in the game. And you guys are both yelling timeout. And they didn't call the timeout right away. 4 seconds got up. What happened there?
Well, Dempsey, I'd tell you the same thing. I mean, there was a break in action. You put PW in. You got to be on the rebound timeout. Right. On a rebound timeout. Did that happen or did it not happen?
Can anybody call that timeout? How does it work? Can anybody on the court call that timeout? Because it looked like Joker was motioning for the timeout.
Well, PW got it, and he went with it. A referee can then call timeout, but if you're going with it, if you don't just stop right there, if you're going with it, you're not getting an advance to the front court. That's what you really wanted. You wanted to save a second or two and then advance the ball to the front court. But once you go with it, you lose that option, and hence another second went off, and they had it in the backcourt.
Well, yeah, and then the net effect of that is instead of it being 9-point-something seconds at the end of that game, it's 5-point-something seconds. You can just run a more robust play with 9 seconds to go rather than 5. You throw it into the backcourt and let your star player deal in that situation. But, yeah, the time, it's one of the rare instances this season.
They didn't execute.
They did not execute late in a basketball.
We're used to the Nuggets executing in these situations. It just wasn't there. Let's show you those frenetic final moments because there are a lot of plays there late. And give them credit, they kept coming back into the game. They were down by 5 with under a minute. Bam! Joker cut that lead to 2 with that.
Love that play call right there by David Allen right there.
Then, defense on the other end. Zubac just misses a bunny. I don't know how he missed that shot. And the Nuggets had a chance to tie, but, wow.
Hit some sweat. Probably shouldn't attack this rim. Dempsey and I disagree a little bit on that point, but we get back.
And then there's the final shot, reliving the Golden State final shot. Unfortunately, this one did not go in. By the way, P.J. Tucker didn't score, didn't have any rebounds. He didn't do anything except that right there.
Right.
He did foul a lot.
Yeah. He was real physical. They switched it early in the third quarter. Joker had 20 at half and didn't score in about the first 6-7 minutes because Tucker was being real physical. But Joker went to his assist game. He was just dropping dimes. But all in all, Nikola, 40 minutes he played tonight to try to give his team win. The bench has to be better. Bench was not good enough tonight.
And a rare Nuggets loss with a Nikola Jokic triple-double. I mean, he did a little bit of everything as usual. That is our Future in Your Hands presented by Ball Corporation. Finishes with 36 points, 17 boards, 10 dimes, career triple-double number 129, another 30-point triple-double. The numbers are all too familiar to those of us who have watched him play. He almost single-handedly won this game. I know he had some help, but without him in the lineup tonight, man, it was not pretty.
It wasn't. And, what was interesting, they needed all of this from him. One of the elements that I thought was missing from the Nuggets offense today was their ability to score in the mid-range. They almost took no shots in the mid-range. They made 2 all game long. And they, just for context here, they take the 3rd most shots in the mid-range in the NBA on a per-game basis. Their field goal percentage, which is 45.5, is the 6th best field goal percentage in the mid-range. And this is where you miss Jamal Murray and the ability to, when they are starting to really play you physically, then you're able to play in between some of that sometimes. Set a little bit of screen, get yourself in the mid-range and knock those shots down. And so now you're leaning on Nikola Jokic to be able to score on all 3 levels all the time because nobody else was able to. Nikola was great, as he usually is. And if I'm thin slicing the offensive performance a little bit, that's one of the areas I think that was really, really missing.
Yeah, and sidebar, completely agree with you, because what ended up happening, way too many threes and way too many missed threes. You're not going to start off 5 for 11. Okay, you're making them. You keep shooting them. They're up 11 in the first quarter. From that point to the mid-4th quarter, they went 3 for 20. 3 for 20. That'll bury you, because not only do you miss, but it creates fast break opportunities for the other team.
The final shot and missing that shot, it really masks a lot of the other problems in the game. And the Nuggets bench was outscored 34-9. They did not score a bucket in the first half. 21-0 in the first half. Christian Brown at 7 of those 9. Plenty more coming up on the Toyota Locker Room Report when we come back.
Aaron's done.
Coach's comments, please.
Yeah, well, it actually started and ended that first quarter. They closed 7-2. Then they opened 10-2. So that's a 17-4 run. And then obviously, if you wanted to look at why we lost tonight, obviously you could look at the free throws. They shot, I think, 85. We shot 68. So we left a lot of points at the free throw line. But that second quarter, as you mentioned, scored 33 points that quarter, shot 50 from the field. You just got to, really look at that film because it seems like this happening a little bit too often right now. Those non-Nikola minutes, how can we survive those? And it's hard when Jamal's not here because usually he's out there. But that was a really big stretch of the game. But couldn't be more proud of the group for staying with it, fighting through, and giving ourselves a chance down the stretch. And obviously a couple of calls, couple of shots go in and out, a missed free throw here, missed free throw there, and just came up a little bit short.
Did you check in with Aaron Gordon at all? He's taken a couple of really tough falls and then fell on that drive, that potential scoring opportunity.
Yeah, I was just talking with Michael to make sure he was all right. I got thrown out on that play. I thought Michael was fouled up high and down low on that three-point attempt. And when you watch the replay, the way he fell and back on his leg, that was a little scary there. Then to your point, Aaron Gordon, last couple of games, he's a warrior. And just his body is taking a lot of contact and a lot of hard falls. So we'll check in with him as well to make sure he's okay. But you never want to lose a game. But, tonight wasn't necessarily about a lack of effort. It's just that we got to find a way to play 48 minutes. That's A for effort, my man. A for effort. That's pretty good.
You talked about this before, and being the son of a coach, so you've heard it many times. When the offense goes, the shots stop falling. You're not making shots. Defense has got to stay consistent. And it seems like there's been times you guys have got trouble with your offense that you almost hang your head defensively. And that's where you have those 33-18 quarters. Would you agree with that, or is it?
Well, yeah, I think in general, I think that's definitely the case. A lot of players, a lot of teams, when the offense is not. It's easy, right? When you're making threes, people pound the floor, defense getting a stance. But when you're not making shots, can you challenge yourself to have the same disposition? And I think overall, I know in that second quarter, that's when we kind of lost the game, if you will. But, to give up 102 points, 38 from the field, 21 from three, I think the defense was outstanding tonight. But, obviously there was that one stretch in the second quarter where the first 6-7 minutes where we dug ourselves. We allowed them to get back in the game, and then it was even throughout, back and forth, and we just weren't able to pull it out.
You watch a million minutes and hours of film. Does it ever surprise you after you get done watching the film to see how physical other teams are in Nikola, and it's just consistent every night? And then he still bounces back and has phenomenal games?
Yeah, it's eye-opening because when you watch the film and you see the usage rate and the number of times that we post them up and play inside, and we're one of the league leaders in paint points per game, so we live in the paint. We don't shoot a lot of threes. We're not a jump shooting team. And, then you look at the stat sheet and he's, 5 or 6 from the foul line. So sometimes, when you watch the film and that's where you have great conversations with the league, you're just talking about, what constitutes a foul, and how can Nikola generate more free throw attempts? Because in our eyes, obviously, we think he's playing to the basket very aggressively. And I understand that it's a very hard game to referee down there in the post. A lot of contact, and you just got to adjust to the whistle on a game-to-game basis. But Nikola is truly a marvel in terms of every night he knows he's going to get beat up. He knows he's going to get hit, and that's just the nature of being down there. And he's the MVP, so he's going to get a lot of attention. And the fact that he continues to go right back down there, never avoiding it, speaks to his toughness and his understanding that that's what we need from him. But yeah, Nikola is just he's never going to shy away from it, and you got to love that about him.
I know this will probably get solved when Jamal gets back, but what have you liked about Christian Brown with the starters and kind of sliding in, not necessarily the backup point guard position because so much is run through Joker? What have you learned about him throughout this time?
Well, he's another kid that is just tough as nails. That's the one thing I love about CB is that, You know, you can get caught up in stats sometimes and analytics, but for me, sometimes it's like, you know, I'm going to play guys like, we always say KYP, you know, I think it's KYC, know your coach. And he's a tough kid. He's not going to back down. He's going to, if he makes a mistake.
For your precious love, the stars spell out love longing for our union then. Love my fragrance so captivating. You're close to me, I lose myself. Never thought I would find love like this. Never thought I would be waiting. Move your body, let your spirit soar. Ella, you're at a move your body.